with that gun right there?
Why?
Because you can't carry open.
Down. Don't move for the gun. Don't move for the gun.
I ain't touching my gun, man.
Put your hand on your head.
To your knowledge, has there been any change in policy that you have been instructed to adhere to regarding how to deal with lawfully armed citizens since June 24th, 2018?
Since the incident, we did have our quarterly training, which did focus on the incident.
Okay. And what were you told in that quarterly training?
Basically, the laws on that statute reference hunting, fishing. You are allowed to openly carry.
Okay.
It is allowed.
Were you told that you should continue to investigate every case where you see somebody open carrying?
Objection, the form of the question.
You were either told to continue investigating every one of those cases, or you were told not to continue. What were you told?
Objection, the form of the question.
If an officer sees something suspicious, or if we get a call, we'll investigate it.
Okay. And so you were told that if an officer sees something suspicious, or y'all get a call, you will investigate.
Yes.
And based on your prior testimony, if you're investigating a person with a gun, you're going to take it away from them, right?
Correct.
Okay.
For the time being, until the investigation's over.
Have you received any training or instruction about whether you have to have a reasonable suspicion that they are a felon prior to detaining them to conduct a background check?
Objection, the form of the question.
It's kind of hard to tell if anybody's a felon unless they're a known felon by someone. I won't know that until a records check.
So does that authorize you to stop and detain any person you see with a gun so that you can make that determination?
If they're open carrying without a fishing pole, yeah.
Okay. What if they're open carrying with a fishing pole?
It have to see the circumstances. Are they fishing? Or are they walking down Lincoln Road with a fishing pole? Two different scenarios.
So if you saw a person on South Point Pier today with a fishing pole, openly carrying, would you walk up and ask them for ID?
I may confront them and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Just to investigate a little.
Okay. You wouldn't walk out there with a gun, though, would you? Pointed at.
Excuse me. The question.
Excuse me. You wouldn't walk out there and point a gun at them just because they were fishing on the pier.
If they were
Objection,
fishing,
the form of the question.
if they were fishing, I had no reason to believe they were a sovereign citizen or anybody else, but just a normal person fishing. My suspicion level is a lot lower than it was on that day.
Can we agree that pointing a gun at somebody without a legal basis for doing so is called an armed assault or an aggravated assault?
We could agree to that.
Okay. Can we agree that?
Did he object to form?
I think he did.
He
Did you object,
objected.
Rob?
I did.
Okay. Can we agree that unconsented touching of another person is, without legal justification, is the crime of battery?
Yes.
Can we agree that detaining somebody against their will without a legal basis for doing so is false imprisonment?
Yes.
Okay. In this quarterly training, were you told, or were your trainee or the trainees told, that that there were any errors or mistakes made on June 24th, 2018, in how that situation was handled by the Miami Beach Police Department?
Situation or that incident wasn't talked about, probably because it's an open case.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it is. So they're not gonna talk about the things that happened that day. Just a general, if you encounter someone fishing or hunting and they're open carried, they're in their legal obligation too.
Okay. You were told that is a lawful thing to do.
Correct.
Objection, the form of the question.
You were told during the training that a person openly carrying while hunting, fishing, or camping is acting within the law.
Objection, the form of the question.
It was reiterated, yes.
Okay. Were you instructed that you should still make contact and run their background to see if they're a felon or other prohibited person?
Objection, the form.
That would have to be on the officer's discretion or the type of call that comes in through dispatch.
Is that what the training people told you?
I don't remember the specifics except for those big key points.
Okay. Do you know if you got a printed material that day for that training?
I'm sure the training unit could provide that at the Miami Beach Police Station.
Okay. The question was, did you get printed material that day?
I don't remember if I did or not.
Okay. Have you been told by any supervising officer that you did anything wrong during that incident on June 24th, 2018?
No.
As you look back, do you believe you made any errors that day?
No.
In the police academy, did you get any training on dealing with law-abiding citizens who were armed?
Who are armed?
Yes.
I'm sure I was, but I can't remember specifics.
You were trained how to deal with people who you needed to take a gun away from in the police academy.
I'm sure that was part of the curriculum.
Was that also reinforced by your work with your field training officer?
Field training officer, quarterly and annual training when it's involving firearms. Any updated legal guidelines, maybe pertaining to firearms, they'll put it out there.
Have you ever received any training specifically regarding the right of certain people to openly carry or conceal carry firearms in the state of Florida, other than the quarterly training you've already told me about?
I can't remember.
Have you ever received any training regarding citizens' right to bear arms?
Yes, because there are citizens can bear arms.
Okay. So at 140951, and I'm just going to refer to that Z as Zulu. We'll try and get somebody else to verify that that's what that is later. But at that time, y'all had your firearms out and were ordering these people to do something.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that almost as soon as y'all started putting cuffs on, they started trying to tell y'all about 790.25 and the right to open carry while fishing?
Your head. Put it on your head.
What's going on, man? What's going on, guys? I'm not resisting. Not resisting.
Your hands up.
Not resisting.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's going on.
We'll explain to you now, man.
Hey, I'm letting you know within the Florida statute, hey, please, it's locked and loaded, buddy. It's a server holstered, please.
Hey, Gus, brother.
We got two over here. We got four.
My sidearm's out as well.
Sit down.
Huh? My sidearm is
Sit down? Are you telling me to sit down?
Sit down.
I'm sitting down.
Sit down.
I'm trying.
We're gonna explain. We're gonna explain it to you, man.
Hey, if you can, excuse me, officer, I'm not trying to resist, but you see that little paper over there? You see that paper?
Relax.
Almost as soon as y'all started putting cuffs on, they started trying to tell y'all about 790.25 and the right to open carry while fishing.
Objection to form.
A lot was being said that they were saying. I can't remember everything on the top of my head, sir.
Okay. It's a lot of confusion, like you said, right?
You know. Yes, sir.
In that initial instant.
You know, just referring, like at that time, we're regarding to our safety and the civilian safety and even their safety.
So, officer, you've referred several times to safety. I'm going to ask you a question that I'm sure Mr. Switkus will tell me it's argumentative, but I have to ask it. Do you consider your safety more important than the citizens you were approaching right then?
Objection to form and argumentative.
You may answer.
So not to disappoint counsel.
You may answer.
Okay. At the end of the day, our safety comes first.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you, I'm out.
And then I would say the citizens behind. But I would actually, in my opinion, citizen safety comes first.
That doesn't make no sense. My man.
Okay. Well, those people were citizens, right?
Yes.
So does their safety come first, or does yours come first, or are they equal?
Well, in this situation, if you're talking about this situation, our safety comes first.
Your safety comes before the safety rights of Mr. Taylor and everybody else that was out there.
Objection to form.
Yes.
Okay. Does your safety come before their civil rights?
Yes.
Yes?
What the fuck did you just say, Sal?
I don't know.
Does your safety come before their civil rights?
Yes.
Yes?
I would have to say yes, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier.
Sure, go ahead.
In the world we live in, just because they tell me they're good people, criminals lie to us every day.
The question here today is, can law enforcement lie to a suspect? And the short answer is, yes, they can.
Criminals lie to us every day. That's why we do our records check and the guns check. If everything copes out, they're on their way.
Okay. But you later determined that nobody out there had committed any criminal violation that day, didn't you?
At the end of pending an investigation, yes.
Once you had everybody disarmed and the people you felt needed to be handcuffed, did the citizens on the pier try to tell you about the right to open carry while fishing?
From my recollection, I don't believe anybody told us anything out of the citizens. You mean the citizens that were detained or the people that were on the pier?
The people you detained.
Oh, my mistake.
That's okay.
My mistake.
Fair error.
And guys, you're both doing it. The court reporter
I'm
is
so
trying
sorry
to take
again,
you both
ma'am.
down
I
at the same
apologize.
time.
I'm
I'm going to
sorry.
play referee.
No, but that was my mistake, sir. I thought you meant the people on the pier, not the people that were detained.
Fair error.
I apologize on that. My mistake.
When you started detaining the people you were detaining, do you remember them almost immediately trying to tell you about the statute?
Like I told you, when we first detained them, there was a lot of verbal going on. And once we sat them down and detained them, to my recollection, I believe they started mentioning.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. You see that over there by that black bag? There's a Florida statute right there that'll help you understand why we're out here. Excuse me, sir. Officer William or Villamont? Excuse me, sir. Mitchell? Can you look at that little paper right there next to that black bag? It'll explain the Florida statute while open carrying, while fishing, hunting, and camping. Sir, I don't consent to you searching my bag. I told you about the little friggin' that paper that right there that would explain that we're all legal citizens and we're not doing anything illegal.
And I believe they started mentioning.
Okay. Did you take any steps to research and find out whether they were right?
Objection of form.
At the time, I was securing the firearms.
Okay. How long did it take you to secure the firearms?
Once again, I can't remember. I can't give you an estimate because once I put the firearms down and everything was safe, I started running the checks on them.
Okay.
And that took a while, but I can't give you an exact estimate.
Are you familiar or have you been trained on any court decisions that regarding things like whether or not you can move items in a house to check serial numbers on it?
Repeat the question again?
Have you had any training in regards to your right when doing a search of a home? Have you been trained regarding whether or not you're allowed to, like, let's say, move a stereo to see the serial number on it before, so that you can see if it's a stolen stereo?
No.
You hadn't received any training on that?
No, sir.
Okay.
To the top of my knowledge, no.
Okay. But you have been trained that you are allowed to remove any firearm you come across from the person's holster and run that serial number?
Objection of form.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember how long into the incident it was before somebody, yourself or any other officer, began to understand that there was a right to open carry while fishing and that they were not breaking the law by having firearms out there?
Objection of form.
I can't remember to the top of my knowledge. Just to add, like I said, once the investigation pending, I know the decision, but I can't remember when that time came.
Before going out on the pier, who was making the decisions as to what the tactical approach would be?
All four of us.
Did Sergeant Baldock have some superior direction because of his rank?
I believe we all spoke.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what was said, like I said, due to the time frame. But we all came to a conclusive of what tactical approach we would take.
Okay. And did y'all all four kind of decide together that you would draw your weapons?
Yes.
Did you all four decide together that you would handcuff anybody that you found on the pier who was armed?
We would detain, yes.
Well, you can detain without handcuffing somebody, can't
Yeah,
you?
no, I understand. Yes.
Yes, you can? Okay. But y'all decided in advance that y'all would handcuff anybody y'all found with firearms.
At that time,
Before you went on the pier, did y'all make that decision that you were going
I
to?
can't remember.
I'm going to ask the question one more time so I get the question out fully. It's okay, I do understand. It's hard. Before you went onto the pier, did the four of you make a joint decision that you would handcuff any subjects who you found with firearms?
Now that you stated it, to my recollection, I remember us when we said as we approach when we were going to draw, and then we would handcuff and an officer would cover.
Okay.
Now that I do remember.
Somebody, I don't remember who, and apparently you don't either. Somebody said, when we approach, one officer will put on, words to the effect of one officer will put on the handcuffs and another officer will cover them while they do it.
Correct.
Okay. And do you recall whether you handcuffed them first or removed the guns first?
I can't remember because everything happened so fast. I know, and I'd have to look at the video.
What would be your normal training and procedure and policy?
We pretty much cuff them first.
That'd be normal.
Yes.
Tactical approach situation, normal doesn't always happen, does it?
No.
You have to deal with the circumstances as they come up and as they're happening, right?
Yes.
And you said you recently watched the videos yesterday to refresh your recollection.
Yes, sir.
Would you agree that within about 30 minutes, of y'all drawing your guns on these people, that y'all had become aware that there was a law in the state of Florida that said a person who is fishing is allowed to open carry?
Like I said, the individuals, once we detained them and sat them down, mentioned it. I was doing the records check on the weapons.
Right.
Pretty much, and we were just waiting for supervisors.
Okay. Well, I'm not asking, I'm strictly asking if you, upon your review of the video yesterday, remember that it was not what they told you, but that within 30 minutes, one of your fellow officers had actually verified that this statute existed and that open carry while fishing was lawful.
I can't remember. Like I said, I know.
To the form of the question.
Join.
You don't remember that in the video?
I believe some officers looked at the pamphlet they were given.
Okay.
And I guess we're doing the research, but I can't remember the time frame of when.
You didn't do that research?
No, sir.
At any point that day, did you attempt to look up and determine whether or not the statute they were trying to cite to you was true and accurate?
I remember looking, eventually I believe, I'm not 100% at the pamphlet they gave, and read it at one point down the line. I'm not 100% sure. And pretty much, and I guess when everybody spoke and the supervisors, then we were notified.
Okay.
But me personally, I didn't do any research because I was handling the firearms.
All right. So today, knowing that statute exists and knowing that people have that right in the state of Florida, you would still have handled this situation just like you did?
Yes.
Object to the form of the question.
I'm sorry.